Combining like terms, and the distributive property lesson, pre-8. All right, so on the top of the back of the front page, I would like you to write this down. So when you are combining like terms, your answers should be in alphabetic order with the constant last. So pause your video, what I just highlighted, write that down above equivalent expressions. Okay, so when you are combining like terms, your answer should be in alphabetic order with the constant last, which is what I demonstrated with you on the front page. This example up here. All right, we went in alphabetic order. It was W, X, Y. And then this one here, that's the constant, and we put it last. So again, when you're doing these, you go in alphabetical order with the constant last. And if there are, if there's an x and an x squared, you go in alphabetic order and you put the term with the highest exponent first. So x squared would come before x. You'll do that more when you get to algebra. All right, so equivalent expressions and simplify. Take a moment, pause your video, and get those definitions written down. All right, equivalent expressions have the same value for all values of the variables. This example that I did up here, that's up here, the original expression was this big long expression up here, and then this one here is an equivalent expression. If I said that x was 3, w was 4, y was -2, and I plugged that into the top and I plugged it into the bottom, in the end you would get the same answer because they are equivalent expressions. When you simplify equations or expressions, you get equivalent expressions. So when you simplify, that's a word that sometimes kids get hung up on. Simplify just means to perform all possible operations, including combine like terms. So if you need to multiply, multiply. If you need to divide, divide. You just do everything that you possibly can and get it down to the simplest form. That means to simplify. All right. Example 1 is combine like terms to simplify. Now you'll notice that I didn't draw any boxes or circles or anything on this one because they are both x's. All right, so I mean if you want to, you could just go ahead and put squiggly lines underneath both if you want. But 5x plus 3x would give us 8x. Because 5 plus 3 is 8. For B, you'll notice that I boxed my m terms and then I circled my constant terms. I boxed the m terms and circled the constant terms. Pause your video and do so. All right, so 5m minus 2m would be 3m, and 3m minus 3m is 0m. Now, I do want you to go ahead and write this down. So go ahead and put down 0m, and I'll talk about that in a moment. 8 plus 6 is 14. Now, if you wrote this down on your homework paper, I would take points off. When you have 0m, that means there are no m terms. A 0 in front of a variable means there are no m terms. In other words, what happened was these m terms all canceled out. So there is no m term left, and the only thing is 14. That's the only, your constant of 14 is the only thing left. So that is your answer right there. Again, because the variable terms cancel out. Pause your video and get that all written down. So again, the m terms, they all canceled out, therefore leaving just 8 plus 6, which is 14. For C, I boxed my a terms circled my b terms, and underlined the constant term. If you look at this, the only thing I can combine are the a terms. There's nothing to combine with the b, there's nothing to combine with the constant. So the only thing left to do is to combine these two terms there. So 14 plus 2 is 16. So this would be 16a. Again, there's nothing to combine with the b term, so that would be plus 3b. And nothing to combine with this constant term, so I just bring that down as minus 6. And these would be equivalent expressions. So this expression here is equivalent to that expression down there. For D, I boxed the y terms and underlined my constant terms. I boxed the y terms and underlined the constant terms. So 7 minus 3 plus 1. For my y, 7 minus 3 is 4, plus 1 would be 5. So that would be 5y. And 8 minus 1 would be positive 7. So this expression right here is equivalent to that expression there. Right, so that is it for example 1. Please pause your video. Make sure that you wrote everything down that I wrote down. Please make sure you did that. If you have any questions on example 1, please let me know.